Welcome along to episode 9 of The Film Man and the Film Fan. My name is Brent. I'm here with the owner of Matakana Cinemas, Dan. G'day, Dan.
How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Great.
We've got so much stuff to discuss, so let's get to it. So, Dan, got a pretty busy May for film releases.
Yeah, we do not only film releases, but doing special events for our films.
Cool.
We have Guardians of the Galaxy, of course, officially releases on the 4th of May. Big film when it comes to how the superhero Marvel DC genre is travelling in the cinema industry. So really looking forward to seeing how that film goes and how good it might be.
And there's been quite a bit of press about what I call like superhero movies. You got Marvel, big changes at DC, a lot of my favourite actors not being there anymore. And so, lots of talk around superhero movies and how they're doing. And is there a little bit of fatigue from people seeing them at the movies?
As usual, something I think about a lot.
Yeah.
There's been a long period of time since 2008, I think it was, when the first Iron Man came out.
Right.
It's just a wild stab in the dark there. That for a long time, it's a way for studios to put out a big blockbuster film, and it sort of reached its peak with the Avengers film, the last one that came, out. And then since then, it feels like both DC and Marvel have been trying to find their way again, and either subconsciously audiences have sort of felt that, or, as you say, audiences have kind of fallen off because they've had enough, or they're looking for more and they feel like they may be seeing the same thing. And as you say, there's been a lot of talk about it. I do feel like the new Guardians of the Galaxy film is a big test case. Right. It's releasing outside of school holidays, so there's not that guaranteed lock-in with school holiday audiences. How's that film going to perform? I think it's a really important film in the landscape of the superhero film. And then there's, of course, a lot of buzz, a huge amount of buzz coming out of CinemaCon about The Flash.
Oh, The Flash. I'm very excited about The Flash. I saw the official trailer the other day, and while I'm not a huge fan of The Flash as a character, but Michael Keaton is in there as Batman, and there's Supergirl, or do they call her Superwoman? I'm not sure.
Supergirl, I think.
Supergirl is the official character, so... Yeah.
Look, it looks like DC is trying to play a little bit on the nostalgia thing, and that is not a bad thing. It's quite sort of zeitgeist at the moment, is really playing on nostalgia. The 90s are big in terms of popular culture. Bringing back Michael Keaton, I think, is a smart move. The buzz out of CinemaCon was that this film is, some people are saying, one of the best superhero films ever. It doesn't guarantee it's going to be a huge success at the box office, though, given the climate. So it's, again, come June 15, when it opens in New Zealand cinemas, it's a really, really interesting time for films like that. And I do think it's going to make the studios really think about how they move forward and not rely too much on those films. Or are Guardians and The Flash going to turn the corner and say to everyone, actually, everything's okay? It might have just been a little sort of glitch in the matrix.
I think when I watched the trailer and I showed it to my daughter Aiden, and I said, if they pull this off, this is going to be amazing. Because I just go, I need to see that just for the Michael Keaton bits.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, we're not far away from seeing it on big screens, and the tension is there.
So, Dan, on the superhero note, and this says more about me again too, I love animation. I wanted to be an animator, but I never actually went and saw Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and now we've got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse coming out.
It releases on June the 1st, which is again outside of a holiday period, but what we need to remember is we're starting to move into that mid-year stage when it's the American summer, and here come the blockbusters. There is an insane lineup of films coming up. What's the difference? The first film, which you just mentioned, was actually fantastic, and Spider-Man, I think he's a bit Teflon. I think he's a character that is pretty appealing to a broad age range. I mean, you think about the last really, really successful Marvel film was a Spider-Man film, which came out last summer, 2 summers ago. And the thing about the Spider-Verse films is that, yes, the first film was fantastic, so the hype is there for this one. So there's already this inbuilt audience that are really looking forward to this film and the continuation of the story from the first one. And the other thing is it's animated, and not only is it animated, it's done in an incredibly beautiful animation style that we kind of haven't seen before. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, which came out over our most recent summer, actually took a little bit of a nod from that film.
Yeah, I saw in some of the scenes,
Yeah, and it sort of took on a little bit of that style. And so you can see that that Spider-Man film did influence the way that people are animating their films now. And that says a lot about that film. And I just think that people love Spider-Man. People are looking forward to this film. It's different.
You go to any kid's birthday party, someone's dressed as Spider-Man.
Totally. Someone's wanting to shoot out invisible webs.
That's right. And I was dressed in my Spider-Man costume even before we came into this. I had to get changed. So there you go. Spider-Man cross the Spider-Verse.
We also have Cairo Conspiracy, which is a little film set in Cairo, of course, in Egypt. And it is really good. It sort of whispers and hush hush, and the name kind of says it. It's kind of on the box, but definitely a little film that's worth checking out if you're into indie film. We've got the Met Opera coming up, and then actually on May the 11th, there's a whole bunch of stuff. We've got a film featuring Ben Affleck, which I don't know a huge amount about, called Hypnotic. It's a thriller mystery. It might be one of those little sneaky films that people don't really know much about it, but go and see and go, wow, actually that was a pleasant surprise, which is always it's great to have those kind of films, rather than the ones that you're seeing all the advertising about and everyone knows everything about before they even go and see it. We've got Close, which came out of the New Zealand International Film Festival last year. Beautiful film, really a film for the indie fans. We've got Met Opera coming up. We've got Much Ado About Nothing from the National Theatre. So there's a whole lot of alternative content. And then we start to move into the big wide releases. We've got a fantastic cast for the Book Club 2, the next chapter, which I think is a whip-smart title by the studio there. They've done a good job on that one. And a wonderful Mother's Day screening a few days later on the Sunday. We are doing a giveaway in theatre for that screening, so I'm really excited about that. So check out our website for a bit more. Fast and Furious.
Oh, yep. Is there another one coming out?
X, yes. So that releases on May the 18th, and look, they've got a massive built-in audience.
Absolutely.
And they perform those films, and I know a lot of people will be looking out for that and pretty excited. And it keeps going on. We've got on Saturday, May the 20th, a very limited release from Warren Miller. He is a ski film producer, director. He passed away a few years ago, but the legacy continues. Daymaker is the name of that, and for people who are looking forward to the winter, that is definitely one to check out. I know there's a few people around here that like the snow, so one to look out for. Of course, we move into The Little Mermaid.
Yes, cool. When my daughters were growing up, it was their favourite movie, and at the time, I couldn't find it anywhere on video, and I was working on the radio, so I put a call out. Does anybody have a video of The Little Mermaid, because mine's broken and I need to for my daughters, and a listener gave me a copy, which I held on to, and I have seen it so many times that I think I can't wait for the live action version. I want to see how they do it, because in animation, obviously, the way the characters look, you can't always put that over to live action. There has to be, give and take with everything.
It's definitely a trend for Disney moving their animated films into doing live action ones, and we've seen some become huge successes and some have been less successful, but that's just the way that movies go. At the end of the day, if a movie's really good, people will come and see it, and then more people will come and see it, and they'll tell their friends about it. Word of mouth is crucial. Repeat viewing is really crucial when a film's really good. And if it's not good enough, then the audience responds. Content is king. So one question I have is, what's a video, Brent? I mean,
I know.
I know.
I should have explained that.
I'm talking to
like vinyl. Yes, so a video was like a tape of a movie.
You can Google it.
But it was, I'm looking forward to it. And I'm really excited, actually, because Melissa McCarthy is Ursula. And I think she is just going to be outstanding.
I love Melissa McCarthy.
As that character.
Yeah.
And it's got a good cast. And everything I've seen, it looks great. So I can't wait. And I think there will be that nostalgia factor for people my age whose kids grew up on it, and then a whole new audience to come along and see it and love it again. I think it's a great move from Disney.
What I can say is my good friend at Disney in New Zealand, Tale, she's super high on this movie.
Yeah.
And if she's telling me that, because, you know, we talk about films with all the studios all the time, and she's sort of pointed that one out particularly, and I think for her it's dear to her heart as well. But also that tells me that the buzz amongst, you know, the studio itself is pretty good. So in terms of here at Matakana, I'm looking to program a lot of sessions because I do feel like this film could be one of the biggest of the year. We have a ladies' night screening the night before it releases, so definitely one to check out on the website.
Yeah, try not to sit behind me because I'll have a crown and a trident.
Or in front of you because you're going to get a wet neck from the tears. We have Maybe I Do on the 25th of May, as well as a Little Mermaid opening. Richard Gere, Susan Sarandon. Yeah, you know, that's one for a certain demographic, and it's a rom-com comedy that is definitely worthwhile checking out. And we look forward to June after that.
That's cool. Better stock up on some M&Ms. I'm going to be busy.
Whew, I need a drink of water now.
Dan, so CinemaCon recently was in the States. How does that affect the cinema business here in New Zealand?
If I could backtrack a couple of months, if that's okay. So you have summer in New Zealand.
Yes.
And we had a pretty funny summer here in New Zealand. Some people are reluctant to even call it that. I feel like summer happened in March, and before that we had, sorry to bring up bad memories, people, but we had some really terrible weather.
Yes.
So it's a funny old time, and then you move into the April school holidays. CinemaCon hits, and all of a sudden there's a huge injection of the studios releasing new trailers, new posters. A whole lot of screenings happen at CinemaCon, whether it's the first half hour of a film or an entire screening.
Oh, okay.
And so people start to see the films that are coming out in the American summer, which is, of course, June and July. It's also, accordingly, our midwinter. But again, it comes down to the big films releasing get people on seats in theatres. So even though you would think in New Zealand that the winter is our busiest time because it's raining and it's cold and people want to be in a nice, warm, cozy, comfortable theatre, it tends to not be outside of those July school holidays.
Right.
But having the American summer delivering all that content, because literally the studios are releasing, let's face it, to the biggest market in the world, which is the US, we get all of those films here too. And so that's what CinemaCon does, is it starts to get people all pumped up for those films. And as an example, they showed The Flash to the finished version of The Flash to the audience over there.
Oh.
And then when it hit who directed it, they cut it. So no one saw any post-credit scenes. So the studios do things like that, and then they bring out, talent onto the stage. Ryan Gosling was there to talk about Barbie. He had a cool Greta Gerwig t-shirt on,
Right.
which is very cool. The director of Barbie, which is coming up and is creating a lot of buzz. So what it really does is just all of a sudden you start to get this real interest in the industry, and then of course that feeds out to the market of here's all this new content. And in fact, it's almost like there's too much. It's for lack of a better term, an avalanche of content. It's exciting. There's just new trailers coming out, and I mean, I'm really excited about a lot of the stuff we're seeing. Disney in their presentation for their 20th century, I'm not going to say Fox, because it's no longer part of the name.
That's right.
For their 20th century presentation, they actually released the new trailer for the first time of Taika Waititi's new film. So, that's what it's all about, is showing people what's coming up, and there's a lot of it, and getting people really excited, and it's invigorating for sure.
So Dan, Matakana Cinema's membership, I spitballed putting a throne in and having golden M&Ms. I don't know whether you guys took that back to marketing and maybe threw it around the room, but it's pretty exciting what you got coming up.
Yeah, well, our small marketing department did have a conversation about that one. That one's on hold.
Oh, okay. No, fair enough.
But look, we'll see what we can do.
Cool.
Look, it's been a really long time coming. This is something that I started looking at years ago, and for various reasons it hasn't happened, but it is now up and running, and a huge amount of work's been put into it, so it's really satisfying to actually have it out in the wild for our film fans. The the gist of it is that what we wanted to do is provide a theatrical playground for our members. And that is, you sign up to the membership for a certain amount of money, but you get amazing perks and benefits from doing that. The Vintry's on board with 10% off all their food and drink. There's the ability to sign up and get a complimentary ticket straight away. You get a free movie at your birthday. There's all kinds of amazing screenings that we're going to be doing that if you're a member, you can come to those exclusively. So it's taken lots of manpower to get it up and running, but now that it's here and we're getting people signing up, everyone's super excited about it, and it really adds a whole new dimension to what we're offering here, and that is what I've wanted to do for a long time, and it's finally up and running. And you know, it's a big like wipe the forehead and feel like really excited that our beautiful beast is out there and offered up to our loyal film fans.
So you find it on the website?
Absolutely. So yeah, very good question, Brent. So if you want to go to our website, you'll see up the top where the tabs are, you'll see now playing, coming soon, MC membership, and that's where you can sign up and find out all the FAQs about what it entails.
Okay, so what's the website address?
matakanacinemas.co.nz.
Dan, I've been checking out the Matakana Cinemas website. There's a lot of stuff I need to see in June.
I like it that you've been using the website, Brent. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm about to go on another spiel here because Spielberg. Sorry, that's terrible. Anyway, the new Spider-Man animated film, Across the Spider-Verse. I'm super excited about seeing how that film goes. Yes, the first one was fantastic, so the hype is there for this one. So there's already this inbuilt audience that are really looking forward to this film and the continuation of the story from the first one. We've also got the French Film Festival, which opens on the 15th of June. We've got an incredible opening night for that. We have some local French flair on board with Nico from Honest Chocolate doing something exciting. Cool. We also have Claire Henry, which is the wine sponsor, which is very cool. And Fergus Grady, who's the director of the festival, will be here in attendance to help me set up and also to introduce the festival on the night. So definitely get to booking tickets because they are now ready to go on the website. The festival runs through to the 28th of June, so that's 2 weeks of French awesomeness. I'm really, really excited about that festival, given how well it performed last year. We have The Flash on the 15th. Could it be one of the best superhero films? I'll just leave that hanging. We have some advanced screenings of Elemental, the new Disney Pixar film, which looks fantastic. If you haven't seen the trailer, check it out. Feels a little bit like Zootopia crossed with Inside Out. And a sprinkling of Soul as well. All Pixar films that I actually really, really love. Zootopia just quietly is one of my favorite animated films.
It's great.
Love that movie. That opens officially on the 22nd of June. That's Elemental. We also have on the 22nd of June the new Transformers film, Rise of the Beast. Shout out to Luke, who works here at the cinema. He was pretty angry with me when I removed it from the website. That was the first thing he said to me when I came into the office one day. But Luke, have no fear, that is officially booked in. So Transformers fans, that is showing here at Matakana. And if you go to June the 29th, one of the most anticipated releases of this year, the brand new Indiana Jones film, number 5, starring the legend.
Yes.
It is Harrison Ford, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to that movie.
I've looked at the trailer. I'm so excited because it looks like old school Indiana Jones. There's something about the way Raiders of the Lost Ark looks, and it looks like they've replicated a lot of that in this movie, which I'm very pleased about.
Yeah, and another film that I got to mention actually for the discerning audiences, I'm just going to rewind back to the 8th of June, The Unlikely Pilgrimage of Harold Fry, led by Jim Broadbent. Now, Transmission Distribution, who's releasing that film here in New Zealand, says this is amazing. Real feel good, perfect for the slightly older demographic and the more discerning audiences. So that's definitely one to check out. I can't wait to see it myself, actually.
So that wraps up episode 9 of The Film Man and the Film Fan. Dan, the next one is number 10. I'm thinking party hats, streamers, presents, and balloons.
Big episode 10. Hopefully you don't wait till 2025 for that to happen.
No.
But I'm pretty excited, and I'm kind of thinking popcorn donuts.
Popcorn donuts. I like the way this man thinks. It's from all these years in the cinema. And I'm just thinking cake.